I absolutely despise people like this on both ends of the spectrum. One guy says, effectively, I disagree with you and I think you're mentally ill. And the other guy says, ha ha ha, I'm biased and I think women should they should just choose what they want. If they want to choose to genocide black people and not date any black men, that's fine. If they want to genocide Latinos and just not date any Latinos, they want to date no Mexicans allowed, and they want to delete the Mexican population, they want to delete the black population from the gene pool, they should just be allowed to do so. It's kind of funny. They don't even believe their own argument. If you ask these people, do you think women should be allowed to choose who they want at the expense of there being no racial diversity? If a white woman collectively said, I will not date any people who are black, actually, all women in America, they said, I'm not dating someone who's black, Latin, or Muslim. If they collectively chose to racially discriminate like that, would you be fine with them doing that? And yes, it is a genocide. That is how that works. If you are selectively choosing certain traits at a mass level and you're eliminating those from the gene pool, that is a genocide through eugenics. You are saying this population of people cannot reproduce. So we're talking skinny males, white mainly, low income strata, kind of poor people, that sort of group. What you're saying when you say women should have a choice and they should be allowed to choose who they want is you're saying they should be allowed to genocide who they want by means of eugenics, by means of natural selection. I don't think we should function like animals and just allow people to reproduce exactly how they want at the behest of society. Um, a society where we have a population of sexless men who have nothing to gain by society getting destroyed is not a society you want. You don't want a society that has a active population of people who benefit from the society being destroyed, right? So what you would want is you would want a society that comforts people and keeps them in line, keeps them happy, keeps them not confrontational. When you have women saying, I don't want to date this population of men, what you're doing is you're creating people who have an incentive to burn the society down. Right? And again, you could say some woman you ruined the bad woman ruined the concept of woman, but I think most women are very picky with natural selection and who they want to choose for partners. They want to choose certain men with higher income stratas, men who are more physically attractive. And again, you could say they have the right, just as the female pigs have the right to select and date male pigs who have horns that kill them. And just as certain deer species will select for men with larger horns which get them killed because they cannot run as fast. What I'm saying here is that female selection at the behest of functionality should not be allowed. We aren't animals. We have civility and laws to prevent this sort of thing. Right? There shouldn't be a large or I don't, you could say it's smaller, but there shouldn't be a cohort of the population, a percentage of the population who is essentially just doomed to never have kids, never have any offspring. There shouldn't be a thing, right? And it shouldn't be a thing on a female side or a male side. My position is one that is better for everybody. I think there should be one man for every woman, and I think every man should have a wife, and every woman should have a husband. I think every man should have a house, kids, a dog, a cat, and, you know, have a car, have a house, and have a decent life for themselves, and then have decent life for their children. And then those children can have a, you know, have a wife and have a house and have a car of their own. What I want for society is something much more positive. These people want freedom at the behest of logic and at the behest of functionality and happiness. These people would rather have women select who they want rather than having women be happy. A woman would be much more happier in an arranged marriage with a man and children and a dog and a cat and having a car and having a family rather than being a wine mom with 60 different cats. Feminism benefits women for the freedoms it gives them and for the benefits it gives them, but it also creates this system where they say, I don't need no damn man, and they are hyper picky, hyper selective with who they want. So they turn 40, become cat ladies, have no children, and have nothing. The woman under Islam is much more happy because she has a husband, she has children. As opposed to the cat mom with 50 cats and drinking wine to ease her sorrow. We shouldn't have men killing themselves, and we shouldn't have cat ladies. What kind of society is that? A society that values women's right to choose who they want to fuck over the right of having a husband, having a family, over having principled values, is the society that fails. You'd rather have a woman who crashes and burns her life into the ground because she has the freedom to choose over the authority of what's in her own best interest. I'd rather have women be forced to do actions that result in their own benefit at the long term than them being allowed to screw around, do drugs, and do all these bad things for themselves, you know, do drugs, do alcohol, and ruin their lives. Well, of course, you could say, well, they have the freedom to ruin their lives. Well, I don't think you should have the freedom to ruin your life. I think the freedom to ruin your life is the freedom to fuck up your grandparents' lives, the freedom to fuck up your children's lives. Because here's the thing, too, that these people don't talk about. When these women, you know, they go screw around with Chad, you know who's having to pay for Chad's kids? Grandma. The grandma has to go pay for Chad's kids because Chad's kids, you know where they're staying? They're staying with their grandparents. Chad's kids, you know who has to deal with not having a father? Chad's kids. You know who has to deal with not having a stable family with a mother or a father and, you know, a stable household? That Chad's kids. So, you know who women most negatively affect when they screw around? Other women. The grandmother has to pay for the children because the stupid millennial mother made bad choices, and the Zoomer kids have to suffer because they don't have a dad in the household. They don't have a normal family structure. And by the way, just to clarify, I am a male. I am a male. I am a man. I am a man. Just because I don't artificially tone up my voice to make it sound more masculine does not mean I'm not a male. I could talk like Landy Savage if I so wanted, but I'm not going to. I could be like, I'm the Terminator, I will terminate you. But I'm not going to talk like that. That's artificial, that's fake. And it's not real, it's not genuine, it's not who I am. I talk with the normal voice I talk in. And if that isn't appealing to you, then you don't have to watch the video. I love it how this guy is just talking mad shit about me. He's like, dude, get help. Just tell me why you disagree, or just say you disagree. This is so fake. You don't care about me. You don't care about my conditions in life. So it's such an artificial comment. And it makes you look bad, too. Because you're saying get help when you don't actually want me to get help. You just want to talk shit on the internet like a troll, and it's pathetic. Also, woman aren't really a concept. They're a adult human female of the species Homo sapien. They're adult human females. It isn't a concept. Unless you're saying genders and species are concepts. Like a lioness isn't a concept. It's just an animal, right?